This spotlight event for Local Enterprise Week is brought to you by the local enterprise offices and supported by Enterprise Ireland, the local authorities and the Government of Ireland.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're very welcome to today's Local Enterprise Week Spotlight event. Our theme today is lean and driving cost savings for your business. My name is Allyson and I'm from a company called Jigsaw Better Business. And we are one of a community of lean, green and digital coaches who support Leo clients on their journey of improvement. I'll be taking you through the event today, but first I'd like to introduce you to the Minister of State for Trade, Promotion, Digital Transformation, Dara Caliri, who'd like to say a few words on today's event.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Greg and the team in Leo Dublin City for the invitation to speak to you at today's Spotlight event as part of Local Enterprise Week 2023. By all accounts from across the island, Local Enterprise Week has been a huge success so far, with many events sold out. The fact that we have returned to almost fully in-person events is a huge boost to everyone, and no doubt makes the week more interactive and enjoyable for all involved. I want to welcome everyone who has taken the time to attend the event today at what is a crucial time for business, and in particular, small businesses in Ireland. Time isn't always what you have, but coming to events like this and taking that time to help improve your business will always benefit you in the long run, and particularly an event like today's. This is the week to step back, to see where your business is at and how you can improve it. You might be looking at ways to innovate, you might be trying to understand how to reach new markets, or you might be focused on today's theme of trying to make your business more efficient and productive at the same time. This week offers an opportunity to see the assistance that is available to you and to evaluate the best next steps for your development and for the development of your business. It might be improving your financial skills, looking for new funding that you can access, trying to innovate within your business, or wanting to upskill with marketing or social media. This week covers it all, and it's important that you take as much of that in as possible. Late last year, the remit of the local enterprise offices, the LEOs, was extended to cater for larger companies up to 50 employees with export potential. There may be businesses here this week who are being introduced to all these excellent supports for the first time. If you are, or if you're an existing client of the LEOs, I would urge you to be curious and to get involved where you can to discover the assistance that is available and relevant to you. Today's event on driving cost savings with lean could not come at a better time for businesses. Lean can have a transformative effect on a business. Regardless of the stage of your development or how your business is performing, applying lean principles can and will make a significant positive impact. Our small businesses have had an extremely rough couple of years, from Brexit to the pandemic and now the current energy crisis that is affecting all of them as well as the general population. But what we have seen is an outstanding and an amazing resilience across the country and an ability to adapt to create better and more sustainable businesses, and that is what we are here for today. From the speakers at this morning's panel discussion, you will learn how small changes can have a big impact on your business. This can also be achieved through similar programs like Green for Micro and Digital Start. You may find that taking those first steps will start a journey of making your business more productive, more competitive, and future-proofing it for the years ahead. In this government, we are continually looking at new interventions to help our small businesses grow and to scale, and to help them open the doors to international markets. We want to identify areas that will help Irish businesses become more competitive, more productive, and more sustainable, and the Lean programme is a superb springboard to achieve this. Our small businesses and our entrepreneurs are the cornerstones of every local community and are crucial to our continuing economic and social success. Our local enterprise offices are embedded in each county and in each community with them. I would urge you to continue to innovate, to be brave and to push boundaries, and to understand that whatever step you want to take, whatever direction you want to move your business in, your local enterprise is there on your doorstep to support and guide you. By applying lean principles, by making your business more productive and competitive, it will result in cost efficiencies that can only have a positive effect, not just on your profitability, but on your business. I want to say thank you to all the teams at our local enterprise offices across the country for their tireless work all year round. I hear nothing but the best of feedback on how you support businesses, and in particular, how you always go the extra mile to support them. And this week gives us a chance to showcase your superb work. Please enjoy today's National Spotlight event on Lean. I have no doubt that everyone here with a small business will see the massive benefits available through this program by the end of this event. And for the last few days of this week, get involved in your local events. Take the chance to dip your toes, to see what is out there, and to physically meet with other businesses in your area that may be in a similar situation. This is something that has been so rare in recent years, so please embrace the opportunities that Local Enterprise Week represents. So thank you to everybody for your time today. Thank you to all our Leos around the country for putting this fantastic week together, and enjoy and learn from the rest of Local Enterprise Week 2023.
So thank you, Minister Calleary, for those sentiments, and I think we can all agree there is no better time for businesses to embrace the supports that are available to improve processes and drive cost savings. So we're here today to talk about Lean. What is Lean and what can it do for your business? So Lean is all about improving your productivity. In its simplest terms, it's about doing what we do quicker, better, cheaper, and together. And the way we do this is through lean thinking. And it's to identify the difference between what we think we do and what we actually do. In today's event, we're going to hear from our guest panellists about their journey. They will share their pain points and how they identified the stone in their shoes. We will also learn how they overcame these, what they learnt from the experience, and what advice they would give to other business leaders looking at business improvement opportunities. We're broadcasting live today from the historic Wood Quay venue here in the heart of Dublin City, and today's Spotlight event is being hosted by the Local Enterprise Office, Dublin City. You can visit their website, localenterprise.ie/lean, where you will find other case studies and the application form to join the programme. So, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our panel for today. So from Senco Sensory Solutions, we have Ray O'Brien. From NearlySisters, we have Nick Hennessy and Sue Walsh. From Irish National Sailing and Powerboat School, we have Glyn Williams. And from Enterprise Ireland, we have Robert Hernan. You're all very welcome.
Thank you.
So Ray, let's set the scene for the audience. Tell us a wee bit about Senco.
Well, Senco builds and manufactures and designs multi-sensory solutions for the special needs community. And we've been doing that for a long time now. Well, I've been designing for the last 11 years.
Okay. And would that have been your background then, Ray, would it?
Well, I have a brother who has cerebral palsy, so we've always been making stuff for him, I suppose. We grew up that way, but it's not my background. My background will be finance.
Right, okay, good stuff, excellent. And you're based here in Dublin, are you?
We are, we're in the inner city.
Good stuff.
All of our employees, by the way, are inner city people.
Perfect, good stuff. And had you heard about Lean before you came on the programme?
No, I was bushwhacked by my daughter. She,
good woman.
She signed me up. She said I needed a little bit more knowledge. Seemed I didn't know everything.
Yeah, that's pesky daughters for you, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so you knew nothing about the programme before you came on, or did you know a wee bit about Lean before you had embarked? No.
Nothing at all, not until the first Zoom meeting. You know, we were in, and that's when one of the mentors was on, and he introduced, I think there was 12 different industries, and I just realised that everybody had the same issues, you know, no matter what it was. We had GPs, we had kitchen manufacturers, we had printers, and everybody seemed to have the same issues.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up, actually, because a lot of the time there's a stigma attached to lean that thinks it's only for manufacturing, and it's not. You know, as we're about to hear from the rest of the panel this afternoon, their different stories. So the lean process, and when you managed to get into the project and you were assigned a mentor, a coach, what was the areas that you started to tackle?
Well, we started off with the basic, you know, where are you losing money? You know, what can you do to improve your output? Just, you know, gave me, COVID helped me out because I didn't have to bring them on the tour of the premises. I could show them the pieces that I thought were best presentable, you know, and they pinpoint all the, you know, your pitfalls and where you're going wrong. Yeah,
okay. And was that news to you, or had you thought about this before?
Well, nobody had said it to my face. Okay. No, but I did know it. Yeah, but that's not what it was about. It was more about the solutions. Yeah. So when they highlighted all the problems, they came up with solutions, and that was really, really important for us, you know.
Yeah, and it's great that you say that, because again, lean is all about partnership. It's about learning from your experiences and obviously putting what you learn into practice. Would you agree? Would you see that's what happened in your role?
Well, I think it's like being thrown a little bit of a rope, you know, and you're saying you're not too far away. You know, you're actually much closer than you think you are, and this is how you're going to go about it. And within weeks, our business had turned around. You know, it was brilliant.
Okay. Yeah. And would you say then, from a competitiveness perspective, did that actually propel you?
Well, yes. What it did was it sent us in a direction we had been avoiding for a long time, which was the manufacture of specific designs that we had on paper, but we hadn't got the time to get to. And my mentor showed me how to free up that time and how to get those designs off paper and how to put them into the into industry. It's great.
And it's really key what you've said there as well just now, and I'll probably bring Robert in this conversation in a couple of minutes' time. It's not always about the bottom line with lean. It's about the time savings as well. Do you know, it's about buying you back that time that exactly what you've just said there just now can go and concentrate in other parts of the business. Did you find that was the case for you?
Well, I think it went hand in hand. Freeing up the time actually increased the income, you know, because it gave us, you know, it gave us more time, and we were still, our output increased, and that was very, very important. And I think we're increasing all the time. So, you know, I think by the end of the year we'll be up to 100%, and that's huge, you know.
That's huge. Yeah. Robert, what would you say to Ray there as a point of conversations to what we were just talking about?
Well done, Ray, like, you know, and keep going on the old lean. In all businesses, you're looking to put in time, money, and effort. And you want more time to do more things, you want to put in less effort to do things, and you want more money as well, like in all those things. And exactly, lean can help you in all those elements, as you were saying, like, you know, so suddenly having more time to do more ambitious stuff. So in fact, you're getting more capacity for you. So we see that across so many companies, both in the LEOs and in Enterprise Ireland as well, that just helping companies to kind of like, you know, be more productive with their time, with their effort, and with their money as well. So, typical for, and as I say, across a lot of sectors as well, like, you know, service and manufacturing as well.
That's a fantastic increase, Ray. You must be well pleased.
I am. I'm delighted.
You'll be retired soon.
Can't wait till it's 400%.
Yeah, you've got that deck chair on the beach already. Yeah, good stuff. And how did that impact your team then? Yeah, because obviously I think you were explaining to me earlier, you've got quite a few family members working the business.
We have, you know, don't ever work for your family, by the way. It's very difficult. But we divided out the projects, and everybody took one under their wing and they ran with that. And then even with the lads in the workshop, we gave them specific projects to work on. So they had the time to put into that. We also set up a second shift, which we had never been able to do before, and that helped us to do the basics for the new projects. When that was finished, we'd bring it back down to the workshop again and get it sort of polished off, you know. So it's great.
Yeah. And again, I think a lot of the time people think, just let's throw some money at a problem. Yeah, I think we've come across that. I've come across that plenty of times. We've got a problem, just let's throw some money at it. but it's not always the answer. And I think you'll agree that that's what lean actually identifies is, let's see what we need to throw money at first, yeah? Or let's see what we can actually work within the business before we have to start out, looking outwards, for funding and to bring money into it. Would you agree?
It's also to do with highlighting where you're throwing your money away more so than, because that is income,
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasted wood in there, or products that we are using that our cut-offs are far too big, simple stuff.
Yeah, but it's about pinpointing that, isn't it? It's about identifying where those are. And we talk about this in lean all the time, the 8 wastes. It's probably all drilled into you. And I'm not going to quiz you today on what the 8 wastes are, so don't panic. But yeah, you're right. It's about identifying where those wastes and wasteful activities are occurring and stripping them back out.
Well, the huge increase in material costs for the manufacturing business during COVID, was a huge thing for us because we couldn't keep up with the increases. So what my lean mentor did was he said, well, have you considered using other materials? And we hadn't, so all of a sudden we were back to the drawing board saying, how can we do this and how can we do that? And we ended up changing a lot of our materials, and saving and maintaining our prices,
Perfect, that's good stuff. Because again, it's all down to where you can scrimp and scrape as much of the cost element and take it back out of the production. But yeah, you're right. Again, we talk about this in lean all the time, don't we, Robert? About the 5 whys. Why are we doing this? Yeah, and question until you get back down to kind of the root cause is such that you can start to tease out, well, what's a better way to do this? But I think having that open mind is it's a first step. Would you agree?
It's the fresh eyes approach, I mean, somebody else is looking at your business and they don't necessarily know your business, but they know business. And the fact that they know business, they can sort of pull yours apart bit by bit and say, okay, well, I've worked with a similar company, not identical, and this is what we did and this is what worked, and then you implement it. And we didn't do it in huge stages, by the way. We only did it in small steps. And even the small steps just showed savings,
Absolutely.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, no, it is, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Yeah, so you felt the programme was worthwhile?
I did.
Yeah, good. Would you do it again?
I will.
You will.
And and I look forward to being back on the, having access to my mentor again, because I'm sure he's a lot more tips to share,
Oh, I'm quite sure of it. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, Ray. We'll come back to you again there in the panel discussion. So let's jump across there to Nick and Sue, who are NearlySisters. Nick, maybe you could explain a wee bit about the business first.
I laughed when Ray said about working with family, so we are actually family. We are NearlySisters. I am married to Sue's brother. So we are a personal and corporate gifting company, and we predominantly do business online. We're a little bit different to your average gifting company in that everything we stock is from Irish businesses and crafters across the country. And we have a huge interest, and one of the fundamentals of our business is sustainability. So the lean worked perfect for us.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, so we specialise particularly in corporate as well. That's quite a lot of our business, chunk of business as well.
And had you guys heard about lean before you come on the programme?
Not a dicky bird. No idea.
Right, okay. So how did you get involved with it then? How did you manage to get onto the programme? What did you end up doing? I'll direct that at Sue.
Well, we first came across it through our local enterprise office, and then after that, we just happened to be talking to some other businesses who had completed the programme, and they all had, such great things to say about it. We're a relatively new business, and we felt that it was the right time to do the lean program. And I mean, at the time we were moving premises, and there was a little bit of like, oh my God, we've got a lot on a lot on our plate or whatever. But when is the right time to do these kind of things? And actually, it was the best time. So it was.
And we do hear this a lot. People will put it off, and I know Robert will agree with me here. They'll put it off thinking, I'm too busy,
Yeah.
And I always ask them,
Yeah.
well, why are you too busy?
Yes,
yeah?
exactly.
And you're right, there is no right or wrong time.
Yes.
Would you agree there, Robert?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like, you know, so whether you're actually starting off in a business or you're kind of like a bit more mature and stuff like that, it's always good to be doing the right thing or doing things as good as you can. And Ray picked on a point there as well about, like, you know, there's a humility involved in it as well, where we might think we know everything, but actually we don't. And there's admitting that or knowing that, like, you know, gives you room to kind of like then to grow and to seek, you know, kind of more solutions and be better all the time as well. So it's and exactly, we hear it all the time, like, you know, that we're very busy, and businesses are like, you're going to be so involved in it, like, and it kind of goes like, I mean, if you don't change how you're doing things, you're going to continue doing that. So if you've identified issues, whether it be kind of like, you know, your bottom line and your profits, or just the cost going in and stuff like that, or the time, you don't have enough time, whatever it be, and you want those things to change, somehow you got to make it happen to change, all right, like, you know, so making that decision from the kind of the leaders in the team is just critical, all right, to make it happen.
Yeah. So what kind of areas or what problems had you encountered up until the stage where you joined the programme that you wanted to address?
When we were working with Lean and we were moving premises and we were procrastinating a little bit, oh, let's get in first and then we'll do Lean. It really came into play because we were setting up our workshop. So it was great just to stand in the space and sit and talk about, okay, where should we put our packaging? Where should we, like, down to the basic tools of a scissors and our paper and our stock, so that when the process of packaging gifts, it helped us to create a system to do that really efficiently, time-wise, for us.
Absolutely.
So,
and created that process flow there, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
So in
exactly.
turn, that would save time too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I suppose at that point, you know, we also learned that we were using far more packaging than we ever needed to be using, and even in terms of stock holding, we were holding too much product, you know. So both of those, we've reduced at least 50% of our packaging at this point, and also stock holding. We now order as we need, which is amazing, you know, for us as well. It means that we have more cash, you know, in the bank, and so both about 50%.
And we talk about that in Lean as well, about one of our 8 wastes, you know, the inventory, holding too much stock.
Yeah.
Ray, maybe you've possibly come across this as well, you know. Yeah, absolutely, overproduction. So that whole tying up money in that stock can have 2 impacts. Obviously, you know, the idea that your cash is tied up in it, but also it could become obsolete, discontinued, or, you know, or it could, again, some of the food items that you guys have on shelves as well could become, you know, for the bin, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even in terms of, you know, box sizes, you know, we've reduced the size of the boxes now, which, you know, it's something that we just hadn't considered. You know, I suppose we were concerned about the experience that the customer would get at the other end. You know, that hasn't been compromised. So, you know,
that was one of our fears, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we were a little bit reluctant as well, you know, because we felt, you know, that we had it right. You know, but actually it was so great to have an outsider coming in, you know, our mentor, and kind of pulling the business apart.
It was tough going at times as
Yeah,
well.
it was, but we worked really well together, and we also then realised, actually, if this doesn't work, we can change it. You know, nothing is set in stone, so we can always, you know, come back or compromise, or and it's about finding better ways. And I suppose the thing for us as well, we were finding we were working a lot in the business, and we wanted to work more on the business.
And as well as that, that workflow and that workplace organisation that you guys put into play, what's the benefits of doing that? What did you find the benefits were for doing that?
Well, it saves a lot of time, really, for us. I mean, there is huge cost savings. I mean, it's really, you know, our bottom line looks a lot healthier now. But definitely time. So when we have orders to get out, so we print off our orders that have come in that day or night and go in the following day, and we have all of them done, packed, ready to go. That's done in no time at all in the morning. That leaves us the rest of the day then to tackle other issues or things we need to do to develop and grow our business.
And it also allowed, you know, if we had other staff members coming in, that they knew our system. You know, that we had a proper system in place. So it meant that, you know, the training of someone new coming in was a lot shorter, say.
Yeah, that whole standardisation piece, and I know Robert will agree with me here, it's night and day, and you're right. I mean, the amount of companies we've talked to up and down the country, it's probably one of their biggest stumbling blocks is because they've had to, especially with staff retention just now and staff movement, you know, you're bringing someone new into the business and now you're having to start from scratch again. But if you've got a standard process in place, it's literally a case of they walk in, pick up the tools and off they go. Would you agree there, Robert?
Yeah, there's a lot of advantage standardising things. So from your own kind of employee's perspective, like, you know, you're giving clarity to them about here's what the job is. And what's even better is then when you kind of ask your team, well, what is the best way of doing it? And then you're engaging with them and ask them, like, you know, coming up with the best way of doing it. And they know what's the best way of doing it. So working with them is great. So then that supports, say, clarity for them, which is less stressful then for them in how they do things. Then you've got communications improved as well. And then a big thing as well around standardisation is less variation between how a worker might do something or between shifts, like, you know, that you're able to, you've got a predictable top quality product or service all the time because you've standardised, you've decided as a team what is the best way that we can do this, like, you know. So a lot of great advantages to standards, all right.
And I think we talked about visual management as well with you guys, and we were just exactly what Robert said there just now. When you do have staff who are coming in on a seasonal basis, you know, it's that, well, how do they know what's the best way to pack this? What does that look like? What should it look like when it's going out to a client or a customer? And you guys identified that.
And you can lose sight of the fact that that's so important and fundamental because you want the output to be consistent, the same quality all of the time. And when you're working, when the two of us are working together, we're nearly at the stage where we read each other's minds and we know what we want, but it's when that external party comes in, when you need that extra manpower, to have that system there, to have the photograph of this is what this should look like as it leaves here, and standardise everything. I mean, it's huge for our business.
It's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? Do you know? But you don't see it until you're in it.
You don't see it when you're in it.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good. That's good to know. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, girls. Glyn, last but by no means least, set the scene. What's the business?
So it's the Irish National Sailing and Powerboat School. We're based in Dunleary on the West Pier, and we train about 7,500 children and adults on sailing and powerboating courses each year. Brilliant. The reason we got involved with this process is because we realised that, thankfully, and it's great news, we were getting busier, but we didn't really have the capacity to do very much more. So as it so happened, we were looking for a solution, and an email from the local enterprise office in Dunleary landed in the inbox. We opened it up and we said, oh, that might actually help us deal with the thing that we felt was the biggest challenge, which was the time we spend administering bookings and the courses. And we're just about to put in place the final piece of software that's going to help our team. The Lean Mentor worked with us to basically break down each of these processes, which sounds exceptionally simple. Of course you do that, but until you're actually said, well, how do you do that and why do you do it that way? And have you thought about doing it a slightly different way? You never have the opportunity to step back and do that. And that's what the entire benefit for us was, is that we were forced to step back, look at what we were doing, analyse it, and as a result of that, we actually knew what we were looking for. We knew what we needed, and we're about to launch that. So we're looking forward to the time savings, I suppose, but more importantly, we're looking forward to the extras that we're going to be able to do, the stuff we're going to be able to say yes to. that we would have said no to previously.
Perfect, good stuff. So you've increased your capacity now just by doing a couple of simple things within your step process previous to the Lean programme. Would that be fair?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Our main target area now is we're going to go back after something we used to do a lot of before the pandemic, corporate and group events that we weren't able to, there wasn't much demand for them, let's be honest with you, during the pandemic. Businesses were not going to send large groups of employees out socialising, which was understandable. But interestingly, we sort of took on extra work to cover that kind of area, and then we discovered actually we needed some help building capacity again to do that. And this year we feel we have the right answer to that.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. And did it involve a lot of your administrative tools then? Is that where that came into play?
That we were, look, I think a lot of people, a lot of businesses will say, when they hear this, they'll go, oh, come on, you don't tell me you're double entering spreadsheets. But we were doing that. And this, we needed help to look at a proper fix for that. So that's where the main focus of the effort has been on administration. I mean, once we get people out on the water, we really enjoy doing that. That's great fun. So that's, to some extent, that wasn't where we could really identify much in terms of capacity. It was really the processes behind the scenes where we needed the bit of direction on.
And you've hit the nail on the head right there, because we talk in Lean all the time about value adding. Yeah, what is the value add of your business? Yeah, what is it the customer is willing to pay for? And you mentioned it there just now. Up until then, you were bogged down with the admin processes. You weren't being able to give the time to the customer, and it was the customer that was paying for the service. So the less time you're out in the water, the less money you're making. Would that be fair?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was really a case of we would come in from the water, or in my case, a lot of the time, I wouldn't actually get out in the water in the first place, and that's the bit I enjoyed. But more to the point, that's the bit which people pay for. So we were coming in and we were doing office tasks into the evening that we didn't. Let's be honest with you, wasn't the bit we all signed up to do. That was the thing about it. So this has really helped us streamline that and spend the least amount of time doing what we need to do for that. So we've now got more time to look after people and make sure they're enjoying themselves and having a positive time. Yeah,
absolutely. And did you find as well with the admin duties, if you like, that were bogging you down, were you having to work extra hours? Were you having to come in and work extra overtime, etc.?
It literally was when we were busy. I would be leaving the office at 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and we'd be starting again at 8 o'clock the next morning. Now, obviously, we're a seasonal business. People understandably want to go out on the water when it's a bit warmer. There's not a huge amount we can do about that. It is possible to do all year round, but it's understandable why people don't want to.
Do you mean we get warm here in Ireland? When does that happen?
Apparently, we're yet to see it. But no, but it does. That was the real big challenge for us, was because we were coming in and we were doing that, and it meant you were just a bit more tired in the morning, so you weren't as chirpy, you weren't as happy to get going again, and it's. For all of us, we're kind of seeing there's a bit of enthusiasm again now, because we're going into the season with a fix basically that's going to get us through all of that and get us doing the bit we enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we talked as well about, and again, this goes across the board, Lean's about continuous improvement, isn't it, Robert?
So yes, that mindset to always look and see if we can do things better. Because if you're not doing things better, you can be sure your competitor is doing things better. That's not a great place to be in as a business. So, and then part of that, then, as you were saying, is like, you know, it's amazing listening to all of them. Like, you know, there's an awful lot of common sense around Lean. It's just that it's not so common. So there's very simple tools and techniques, from, you know, understanding your current situation and mapping out and processing it. Like, but then it's really important, as Ray says, well, why are we doing it that way? Why are we using that much packaging? Or why am I using that material? Maybe I can use another. So it gives you that sense of being able to see how you're doing things, the processes, what waste might be in there, and then trying to come up with your team, like, is there a better way of doing it? And then to go on again and do it, because you know what, you brought that down from 8.5 days turnaround of an invoice down to 1.5 days. Well, can we bring that down to 1 day and improve the service all the time? And so it's fantastic, all right, and the benefits, like you've been touched on as well. Like, you know, we were talking about capacity there. There was our Darren Gin Distillers in Tullamore. It's a great story. There's a video, I think, up on the Leo website, and they had they were producing something like 498 gin bottles a day, and they came in with a big order that they couldn't meet. They didn't have the capacity to do it. And some of those things that we just talked about, organising, standardising things, mapping out, like getting better flow around the place, they tripled their production, 1,500 bottles a day. No investment in equipment, people, or space. So yeah, let's see that we can do the best with what we have, and then the ambition to scale up and do more business.
Yeah. And there's so many of those case studies out there, guys. The same scenario, didn't throw money at it at first, took a deeper dive into it, a super analytical, fine-tune look at the business, and then decided, okay, what do we need to do here? Yeah. What does good look like as such, and how do we start putting that into practice? Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So Glyn, I was thinking there as well, you were talking about your admin processes, and now you've introduced a piece of software. You'd mentioned there about a piece of software. Is that going to free up a good bit of the time now for the admin processes, or?
Absolutely, and it's important to say it's not just the piece of software. By actually analysing the whole process around it, we've already made a couple of savings for free, for want of a better word. They've freed up time that we can spend elsewhere. So from our point of view, it wasn't part of the whole, the help of the lean mentor was that we were able to identify things that we could do within the resources that were available to us, but more importantly, where we would need to invest. And part of that was by saying, okay, now we can actually justify this investment because we know exactly what the outcomes are going to be. Or at least we're very hopeful what the outcomes are going to be. But no, it wasn't a guess. That's the point.
Yeah. You had gone through the process and the process steps to understand what's there that doesn't need to be, rather than, as we talk about, automating a bad process. It's really easy to do that, isn't it? Let's just throw it onto a computer system and it'll all be fine. Whereas exactly what you said there, Glyn, you need to understand what those steps are first. And by doing so, then you're starting to identify, well, where is the waste and wasteful activities in there, and what can we strip out? Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Glyn. Thank you. So we're actually just going to continue on with this panel discussion, if that's okay, guys. And feel free to offer up, your comments as we go around the group. Ray, I'll probably start again with yourself there, just if we're going back round in the same direction. When you think about the project and the programme and what you've just come through, and you've mentioned there as well about some of the impacts you had, which are really, really phenomenal, which is great, well done. The wider impacts of the programme, though, what do you see will come from the wider impacts of this programme?
Well, we got a confidence all of a sudden that to approach people that we had in mind to approach, but we didn't approach, put it on the long finger because we didn't think we were ready. And in fact, we were ready, and we approached these people and we're good, so that's the biggest benefit I can see.
Is this suppliers, Ray, or is this new customers?
With distributors, and just producers of other products that are coming on board with us to do projects together, and that's unique designs, for new products for the industry,
So you're starting to become a wee bit more innovative then, are you?
Yeah, we're becoming very popular.
Yeah. Everybody wants Ray. Yeah. Okay, what would you recommend then to other businesses that are thinking to come on the programme?
Well, don't hesitate. I mean, jump on, and nothing ventured, nothing gained. And as I was saying, I had no intentions of learning anything. I was sort of paying lip service to my daughter's insistence that I do the lean for micro program. But having seen that other people were in the same, they had the exact same difficulties as we had, it made it very, very interesting, because we knew then that the mentors had great expertise in this sort of field. So, I started to listen.
Yeah, good man. It's really funny you're saying that, though, because we talk about this with clients up and down the country all the time. And one of the specifics that we say to people when we first start with a business is, we're not the experts. You're the expert. Yeah, you're the expert in your business. What we will bring to the table is the expert in lean, but you're the experts. You know your business inside out. I think it's just a case of sometimes we work in it and not on it. Yeah. So it's about taking that step back and being able to see the bigger picture. Yeah.
those who do and those that teach, you know, and usually the teacher knows best, you know, and that's the way it goes. So if they can fine tune and help out your program, that's, I mean, you've nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it cost the price of an hour with a tax consultant, you know, to do the whole course, and so we made that back in the first day, I think. You know.
Yeah, it's about the quick wins, isn't it, Robert? It's always about the quick wins, things that you can get in there and pinpoint right away.
Yeah, like when you're introducing something new into a place, like, you know, there can be a bit of resistance, goes, oh, what's all this about and stuff like that. So it helps that your leadership are on board with it and want to happen. But it's also great then to demonstrate, like, actually, this is simple, it's going to work, and actually it's going to help the business and going to help your situation. So very often it can be like, you know, can we help make your workplace better? You know, can we improve your conditions here at work? Can we give you more time off at the end of a week so you can spend time with the family, which you really want to do? You know, rather than kind of having to come in for overtime and stuff like that. So working with a team like that and demonstrating a quick win is always a good thing to do. Right?
Absolutely. And involving them. I mean, you obviously involved your team, Ray, when you were going through the programme.
From the start, you know, he said, listen, lads, girls, you have to, you know, sort this out. This is terrible. Like, we're, you know, we're knocking down rainforests, you know, to build small things, you know, and they all came on board. Like, you know, well, they, you know, there was a bit of growling now, but they took it on board, and we've had huge savings, you know.
Good stuff. And I think you're right. I think it's about explaining the value to people, you know, the team when they're coming into this type, because it's change, guys. You know, it's a change of mindset, it's a change of behaviours, and that's not easy. Yeah, we talk about lean being simple, but it's not always easy.
No, and it can be hard, and we're not there. We're not there anyway, for sure. Like, I mean, we've a long way to go, but we have a direction. We know where we're going. You know, and penny saved is a penny earned, as they say, and you know, so by saving, we're earning. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're also increasing our earnings.
Yeah, I think even just being aware of, you know, what is happening. What if I do this, this will happen. If I don't do that, this won't happen. Type idea. So it's getting into that mindset, you know, that to be thinking differently, and to be acting differently as well.
Without a doubt. Makes
sense. Good stuff. Okay, Sue and Nick, how are you going to sustain the changes that you've made through the Lean programme? How are you going to do that?
Well, it's funny really, because anything that we do now, like down to our paperwork, our, you know, our CRM system, following up calls, to be honest, we apply Lean all of the time. We'll stand back and say, okay, is that Lean? Is that the most productive way of doing something? So we always question, we always use it in every day now, you know, so it's part of how we do business now. So it'll be nice to maybe run with that for a while and then maybe get, you know, come back to the Lean programme, get somebody back in again to have a look, an external set of eyes on how we do our processes and how we do business again. But it is definitely, it's an everyday part of NearlySisters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I suppose I think for both of us, you know, as you know, we said earlier, we're still quite a new business. So for us, you know, every cent counts, you know, and to see those figures, like to be reducing our packaging costs by over 50%, like that's huge for us. And we do spend quite a lot of money on packaging because that's what we do, you know, it's gift hampers essentially. So so that was huge. And then, as you know, as we said earlier, the stock holding, reducing that by more than 50% frees up that money to invest in other aspects of the business. So that's huge for us as such a young
our
business.
It's quite seasonal as well. The last quarter of every year is huge for us. So it can be quieter at times, but when you've got money in the bank, you don't panic as much. So then your mind, and you're free then to tackle other aspects of your business to help it grow and to scale.
And what did you guys put into place there from a kind of measuring and management perspective? Because obviously we need to understand what good looks like. And if we don't have some facts and figures, this is a good one of Robert's, you know, if we don't have any facts, we've only got opinions, which I always use. I think it's a great quote. But it's right, you know, because then it's like we're going with our gut feeling. In all due respects, we know good gut feelings are good, but you can't run a business, you know, a full business on it. So what do you guys do there for kind of measuring and managing?
Well, we always revert back to our figures all of the time.
Yeah.
So like that, Sue said, we've saved over 50% on our packaging. Our stock hold on the shelf, it's not as much money tied up in stock. We always revert back to that, and we have to as a new business. We're so young. We only started trading in 2020. So the first 3 years, we're still in our first phase, probably just coming out of that now, and we're doing it safely, you know?
Yeah.
And I suppose it's important for us, you know, as a gifting business to introduce new products, you know, on a regular basis. So without that cash in the bank, you know, it makes it quite challenging for us to do that. You know, to have new offerings to corporate and the domestic market also. So, so it's allowing us to do that more.
And you mentioned there as well about your packaging, and I appreciate you've had a phenomenal saving there just on the packaging. And we always say as well, lean's not just about reaching a target and then forgetting about it. Albeit, you know, you want to get it to a place where you can work with it. But it's always about the continual improvement. Would you agree there, Robert?
Oh, yeah.
Totally, like, you know, exactly that. You want to increase your business, you want to have a growth mindset, like, you know, doing things better all the time and improving things. So exactly, the measuring allows you to say, look, here's where we're at now, but actually, you know what, we want to reduce that again and improve that again. So we can measure a lot of different things around, like, you know, from the customer end to kind of the products. So quality defects might be, how many times are we handing on and touching stuff? So lots of measurement to do, but that's the basis then for, you know, setting a good standard and then improving on that again.
Yeah, and you guys have already reduced your packing times already, even as we speak today. If you think about where you started, when you were working in the porta cabin, you even think about how long.
The sitting room, Allyson.
Sorry, sitting room, beg your pardon.
Well, the kitchen table, then the sitting room, then the porta cabin.
You've come a long way.
Absolutely. I suppose our mentor taught us, you know, the importance of having that that flow, like the pick, pack, and ship. You know, we really didn't have that in order, did we?
It's probably flipped now, really. So we could have spent 80% of our working day packing, 20% on other things in regard to our business. Now it's flipped. It's 20% on the packing and picking and shipping. It's done very quickly. So we can tend to other things. And that helps growth and scale. And
and again, you know, it's so important for us and all businesses, but for us particularly at the moment, to be working more on the business, you know, so it's allowed us to do all of that.
But I think what's also really critical is the fact that exactly what you've said there just now, you've reduced your picking and packing time, but it hasn't affected quality.
No.
Nope. And that's the key
that was
here.
our biggest fear.
We were very fearful. Me probably more. I was a little bit more reluctant. You know, I suppose I just felt that we
had such positive feedback.
On the experience that our clients were getting when they received a gift hamper from us. You know, we really didn't want that compromised, but actually
it enhanced really.
And really, as a gifting company, we wanted to reduce the packaging, you know, so that makes us more sustainable as well.
Absolutely. And when you talk about added value, customer added value, you step back and say, right, okay, does the customer want all of this? What are they paying for?
And I think a point that the mentor, you know, or something that stuck in my mind, well, where is this packaging going?
Afterwards.
It's going into the recycle. So that really kind of stuck.
Resonated, and I think Ray mentioned that as well, even just about the materials.
The cut-offs,
the cut-offs, exactly. He's looking about, well, how much of those cut-offs is going straight into the bin? What do we need here? Can we do something different? That's going to alleviate that. Would that be fair, Ray?
There's going to be a very cold community down in East Wall this year. Won't have the cut-offs.
Good stuff.
No, it is.
It's
a fact.
Okay, what would you tell someone then who's listening in today that's thinking maybe, oh, that might be for me, but I'm not sure.
I think just embrace it, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
just, you know, the timing is never right. You know, that can be a sort of something that we certainly had in our minds, that, but just embrace it. You know, nothing is set in stone. If it doesn't work, you can, you know, try something else, and it's all about compromise. And, you know, our mentors certainly worked with us. You know, we became a team, and
as a partnership. And I think Ray had mentioned that too, do you know, about that partnership. And it's important, because it's really easy to come in and start telling people what you are and not doing properly, and that's not what Lean's about.
And you're not going to take it on board.
You're absolutely not.
There's a lot of what if, isn't there? You know, what if you did it this way, or what if you did it that way? You mightn't agree with everything, but it gives you a game of tennis back and forward until you get a solution.
Tease it out, can't
you? Absolutely, I think it was great.
Definitely.
But it's also changing a mindset, isn't it? Because I always say to a lot of the clients I work with, if only I had €1 for every time I heard, but that's the way we've always done it here, I'd be a millionaire. Because it's not that we're coming in to tell you that what you've done up to date is wrong. All we're saying is, let's look at it from a different angle. Let's look at it from a different angle and see if there's a better way you could be doing that. As I say to people, and I know it's a really, you know, terrible saying, everybody wants to work smarter and not harder. And I've yet to find the person that wants to work harder. So it's about, let's tease it out and let's find better ways to do that.
Well, we're delighted it happened so early in our business, really, because now it's become part of our culture. You know, it's part of how we do business. So it's really great for us to have that. So when we get casual staff in, or our first full-timer in, you know, it's part of the culture. It's embedded in NearlySisters. This is how we do things. We are open to change, open to doing things better, more efficiently, and, you know, we embraced it, and we're using it, as I say, every day.
And you value the customer. That's key as well. A lot of times people miss that message, and don't they, Robert? It's about the customer at the end of the day.
It's always the customer that's going to find value. So what is it that they want? So understanding what the customer wants, and then being able to give them what they want. So being on spec, in time, like, you know, at a cost that's affordable to them as well. And I was just thinking as well, like, you know, a couple of the points that were going on there, like, you know, that, you know, for a lot of business these days, like, you know, profit margin, costs have gone up, inputs have gone up. And if we want to improve our margin, like, we can maybe increase the cost of our product, but the customer may not like that. We can increase the amount of sales. Okay, well, let's see how that goes. But we can also and always try and look at our own inputs and control the costs that we have within the business. So are we getting the most out? So less packaging, as you're saying, and, you know, different materials or whatever, like, and more time to do stuff like, you know, so can we be as good as we can on our own inputs, the costs within the business that we're working on, and let's give ourselves the best chance then, like, you know. And I think, like, you know, Ray made a great point there, like, you know, around, like, you know, the confidence that it gives. So a lot of the time it's about kind of like, you know, can we just get good systems in, stabilize how we're doing things, standardize things, workplace organization, visual management, all these good things. We got good stability, we got good control of it. I now have the confidence in the systems to go into a customer and say, we have great products and we will be able to get you that product on time to the quality that you want. That's a great place to be, like, you know, and you'll embrace looking for new business as well. So yeah, stability, confidence to kind of go after new business and be better again.
No, it's a great point. It really is. And I think it resonates with everyone that's in the panel today and anyone else that's listening in the audience. Glyn, yourself there. So impact then on the team performance, because I know you were talking about you've got a small team over in the offices there. How did that impact them?
There's 3 of us out of 8 who are full-time in the business who this specifically has related to. We're starting to see the benefits of this now, which is exactly what we want to do. For us, I suppose, taking it wider than that, so there's 5 other full-time staff in the business and there's 90 part-time staff, the sailing instructors, the water sports instructors. So for them, the bit that's useful and the bit that we're really, I suppose, keen to sort of promote is that this, exactly by standardising processes, by defining what those processes are clearly, it makes it easier for them to do their job. They know what the outcome is. Now, to be fair to them all, they're all very good. They know that people who go away happy have had a good time, they've learned something, and of course, underlying that they're safe. But it doesn't mean that the way we're doing it is the best way to do it. And that's what this has given us, is a framework to go and do the next steps in the next areas. I mean, we're really looking forward to, I suppose, there's the operational side out on the water, but we're particularly looking forward to saving time over on our maintenance side. We maintain 350 odd boats in-house, and to be fair, that's an awful lot of work, and there's definitely opportunity there to make everybody's life easier. I mean, there's definitely going to be cost savings, but more importantly, it'll make the teams there, they'll have a better time at work. They'll get it done faster. Then they're all water sports instructors as well at the end of the day, so they can actually go out and do the thing that really they enjoy, which is teaching and passing on skills. So that's the excitement for us. That's the bit, I suppose, where we're going next.
Yeah, and when we talked there earlier with the girls and with Ray about the wider impacts, then you mentioned there about your maintenance department. So obviously you've rolled out the first project within the admin processes, and they've obviously seen this. They've seen what you've been doing with that. What was the kind of what was the outcome there? How did they feel about that?
So they're open to trying the same thing.
Yeah,
because I mean it was very interesting, because in the we're a service business. We don't really do manufacturing, but actually the more and more we were looking at, we're like, actually no, this is quite similar to what we do to a manufacturing thing, because you have to go from the boat that you're working on, which is 20 feet away from where you store the tools, try and find the tool you want, which hasn't been put back in the same place because the process isn't quite as strong, and that's what it is. And it means then you're rummaging around a busy workshop, and you're trying to find what you're looking for. I mean, we've done our best trying to standardise boats, but we've got about 40 different type of craft, and each of them have different engines on them or different sails. So trying to have parts and everything like that, that's the bit where I think we're getting the buy-in on the benefits there. That's the bit that people are looking forward to. Again, for us, I suppose we're trying to measure the outcome is more time, which is, I suppose, it is generating capacity to do more business. That's what it is. But for us, it's much about spending our time on the things that we actually enjoy more.
Yeah. And as well as that, and I know we talk about this in waste as well, and we talk about our 5S exercises that we tend to do when we first start in businesses. It is exactly what you said there just now. It's about looking round for all these things. That's all time. Yeah. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and a lot of people think, oh, that's nothing. But if it's 5 minutes every day, guys, it's 25 minutes a week.
We used to have a game every day, NearlySisters. Where is the scissors today?
And you're no different. I don't know, many times we went in.
It's such a waste of time. Now
exactly.
it goes in its place, and that just makes it, I mean, it's such simple things. Such simple things you have to implement, and it makes such a big change and difference to your business.
But I think it's only when you put the lean lens on these things that you actually start to see. Would you agree there, Robert? Yeah.
And you kind of, that's having everything should have a place, and everything should be in its place. Like, in the restaurant business, I think they call it mise en place. You don't want to be running around looking for that knife and whatever. So that kind of organising your workplace and having things where you need them. I recall, like, the veterinary business in Longford that had, like, needed scissors, needed thermometers, needed these things to do their bit. And going looking for them was wasting everybody's time. So they had a belt and a little kind of wallet, and there they were. Save so much time for this. So simple, so exact. But it's only when you kind of think about, I am spending time. Or I remember hearing an engineering company up in Monaghan that welders were some of their more expensive employees, high-waged employees, and they were spending time go down to the end of the warehouse looking for bits of equipment and come back. That's less time doing the value add that they can have in the welding. Let's bring it to them where they need it. That's where the thing, so their equipment would be. So you certainly start seeing those things around and going, oh gosh, that's a waste. We do it at home as well. We don't want to be running around in the morning looking for stuff. So it's just thinking that way, is there, can be efficient in everything, in our time and effort.
And it sounds like your staff will be quite happy to embrace that then, Glyn, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I suppose that the thing is that the team of us in the office are already starting to see the benefits of it. So it's very much, I mean, this was the thing that was made clear to us by our lean mentors, that we really do need to make sure everybody's buying in. So, we want to show the benefits of this and say, well, now look, let's try it somewhere else. And as Ray was saying, you give the team the ownership of it. They know what the problems are, because we were asked, what's the biggest problem you have at the start of it? And myself and two colleagues who were at the meeting, we said, it's admin. But if you ask different team members, they might say it's something else. So it's kind of trying to look at the things, because everybody knows where, at the end of the day, everybody kind of has a rough idea of where the time is going. But it's only when somebody says to you, can you now pinpoint that out, you actually realise quite how much time is going. I mean, our savings were more than 5 minutes here and there. That's the real benefit for us. It's way over that. So it means people are getting out of work, we think it could be up to an hour and a half earlier, or we can do something else with that time. We could also go home. That's another option as well. But that's the thing that we're sort of seeing coming through.
But it's a real light bulb moment, isn't it? When you start to quantify something, it starts to mean something. Yeah, it's not just a case of, well, I think it might be this. It's you've got a hard and fast fact there. So now you can start improving on that. Yeah, you can start working with it. Yeah, does that make sense?
Absolutely,
yeah. Good stuff. So you've all got something out of it then. That's the key point here. This is the key takeaway,
yes,
yeah?
Absolutely.
And you would highly recommend it to everyone who's watching today, yeah?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. And it's good to hear as well, that sometimes when you're thinking about that application, I don't know if it's for me, I don't know about the time commitment, don't know if I've got time, I'm too busy. Well, you guys are living proof that, just put that aside. And if there's a genuine business need there that you want to be competitive, you want to make a real go of your business, and you want to do more of what the customer's willing to pay for, this program's for you. Would you agree?
Yes.
I think if you're saying, as a business, I'm too busy or we're too busy, that is the time
to do it.
To do lean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this putting it off is only deterring. It's only adding to the problems. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you agree? Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, guys. So just going to wrap up questions there then. I'll just fire questions around the room here. It's okay, don't panic. They're quite straightforward questions.
The exam date.
Ray, we'll start with yourself then. In summary, what would you say to a prospective lean candidate? Someone who's watching today, what would you say? What kind of key message, key takeaway would you give them?
Sometimes we don't see the problems that we actually have, and they're highlighted by competition. If you find yourself a little behind your competition, you need a lean program. If you find yourself struggling for new business, you need a lean program. If you find yourself just generally lack of motivation, you need a lean program. That's what I would say. Sign up.
Good stuff. Excellent. Yeah. And I don't want to
Try get your daughter to pay.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the other option. Yeah, absolutely. The girls were saying earlier there, about coming in and working, with a mentor. And you're right. Sometimes it is just that external to come in and just, someone to thrash some ideas off it. Sometimes it's just the start. And I think it works really well. Yeah. Okay, this is directed to Nick and Sue then. If someone was sitting on the fence, how would you persuade them to start their lean journey?
Push them over the fence.
I think I'd probably give them the percentages or the amount that we've saved on things like the measurable stuff.
Absolutely.
On our packaging, our stock holding, that for me would be something I would share with them. And that happened really quickly with us. It was probably staring us in the faces, but we just didn't see it at the time. So that would be mine.
Yeah, absolutely. In any business, if you're going to make more money, you're going to listen, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what does resonate with a lot of people. That's the kind of key, the hook, if you like, that they're thinking about for obvious reasons. Yeah, so that makes sense. Glyn, then, what surprised you about the lean process? Not shocked, just surprised.
Surprised. I think it was much more wider. The application is much wider than we initially went in with. It actually does deal with every area of what we do. There's benefits in it, and the benefits are what we're having success with doing is the benefit being focusing on making it a better place to work, making it more enjoyable to do the job, and actually all of those things. I mean, we knew it beforehand. When we're having a better time at work, when everybody does, you actually do better business. You're doing a better job with the customer. We're in the service industry, we're in the hospitality style. sector. So we do have to be actually happy in the job. Now, look, everybody enjoyed the job, but the point is, you're now doing the bits that you really do get benefit out of and the bits that you enjoy. So it was how widely that applies to every different aspect of what we did.
Good, excellent,
for
good
us.
stuff. No, that's really good. Robert, would you like to add anything there?
Yeah, compliments to everybody here. I say like local heroes, like, you know, creating value for, like, you know, their own businesses and their local communities. It's brilliant. And it's been happening all across the country, like, you know. So we mentioned there our Derrin distillery in Tullamore, tripling their production through doing some simple lean tools and techniques. Same Savvy Kitchens down in Tipperary. They used to produce 2 to 3 kitchen units a week, rejig their layout, getting that flow that you were talking about, double their production to 4 to 6 units a week. Skylark Electric Attic Stairs in Galway, their packing process used to take them 90 minutes, doing a bit of workplace organisation standard. That went down to 10 minutes. And in that lean project, they saved over €190,000. So if people want to kind of like an incentive on why they possibly should get on this, like, you know, there's going to be cost savings out of this as well. And as Glyn was saying as well, like, you know, enhanced work environment, that's one of the big things that's come back from people as well. Healy Honey up in Loughrea, like, you know, again, stuck for time, doing things better, like, you know, allowed him his Sunday off to go and watch a local football game. So, you know, there's lots of value to be had out of it, and it's been shown all around the country. So, yeah, get on board, as saying. Good for your business.
Good stuff. Yeah. Thanks everyone that's on the panel today for sharing your stories. I really appreciate it, and thanks Robert for your insight into some of the questions that the guys were asked and answered so well. Yeah, so well done. So again, we've heard some fantastic stories here from the business owners who have improved their businesses, increased their productivity and made their businesses more competitive. And they've done this by delivering a successful lean project. We've also heard how lean has become a way of working in their business. Lean is a true investment for any business, and as you've heard, it's about continuous improvement. In lean, we talk about waste and how we can remove that wasteful activity. So please don't let this opportunity be wasted. Reach out to your local enterprise office or visit their website. And the website there is the www.localenterprise.ie/lean, where, as we mentioned earlier, you'll find a whole load of other case studies, the eligibility and the application details. Or if you want to talk in more detail about what you've heard here today, you can also find myself on LinkedIn, and I'd be only too happy to help. We know the hardest part of any lean journey is the first step and taking the time to commit to the project. However hard that is, it's not as hard as the alternative to keep walking with that stone in your shoe. Today's event is being hosted by Leo Dublin City, and I'm delighted now to welcome Head of Enterprise Greg Swift to say a few words. Greg.
You've heard from the companies here today who have only gained benefits to their business by undertaking the Lean Leo program. These benefits included process improvements, time savings, cost savings, efficiency and effectiveness. So why don't you do the Lean for your business? To apply, go to localenterprise.ie, L-E-A-N, Lean. That's localenterprise.ie/lean, L-E-A-N. We also offer a number of consultancy services that are complementary to Lean, such as Green for Micro and Digital Start. So check out the website localenterprise.ie for those. Local Enterprise Week continues tomorrow with a workshop on innovation for business success. Sign up for that at the same website /week. That's localenterprise.week/week. On behalf of the Leos nationally, I would like to thank Minister Callally, MC Allyson from Jigsaw Better Business, Glyn from Irish National Sailing and Powerboat School, Nick and Sue from NearlySisters, Ray from Senco Sensory Solutions, Robert from Enterprise Ireland, Leo staff for the event planning led by Grania Denning, Karen and Con from White Light Events, and Barry from Defiant Media for our live broadcast here today. So thank you for your attention. We look forward to working with your business. I'll now hand you back to Allyson.
Thanks, Greg. I think you've said most of the thank yous there, so that's great. I'd just like to get one last one in there. I'd like to thank, in particular, White Light Events, and in particular, Karen Devine, who's an absolute godsend, and Con as well. Yeah, so thank you. Thanks very much for helping us out with this event today. Also to my panellists who came today, so thanks very much for giving up the time. I'll pay you later. And finally to say, there's no better time to engage in a lean programme to help improve your business, increase your efficiencies, and to make your great business better.
Thank you for supporting Local Enterprise Week. To find out more about other supports and programmes for your business, just visit localenterprise.ie.